ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Dignitaries, members of the faculty, students and ladies and gentlemen, there are only two civilizations of more than 5,000 years surviving today, India and China. The Egyptian civilization, the pharaohs have disappeared. The Mesopotamian Assyrian civilization has disappeared. The Greeks civilization disappeared. They're still around, but they're no longer the power they were. Then we had the Romans, they have disappeared. And many others who came. Why does India and China still survive? India and China survived because these civilizations built up intellectual property and knowledge to sustain themselves over time. That make great discoveries, improve the lives of people. They were rich countries. India was the richest country in the world for many centuries, then China, then again India. Even today, if you look at arable land, undivided India had arable land from Peshawar to Dhaka, the largest quantum of arable land ever in human civilization for a country. Even today as a country with the largest quantum of arable land. And this is a rich country where everybody came. Throughout history they came. Pliny the Elder wrote 2,000 years ago, trade with India will impoverish Rome. Because they bought our luxury goods, textiles. The Roman toga was the textile. The white cloth they wore, we've seen in the movies, was from India. And they brought in our spices and they had to pay for us in gold and silver. And they had to loot other countries to pay for us in gold and silver. This is a sink of gold. 35,000 tons of gold exist among families in this country. So they all came here for hundreds and hundreds of years to trade because we were rich. And as a country, we never conquered other countries. Our knowledge spread to other countries. Our religion spread to other countries. It's the only great civilization along with China which never went outward. Even China as the middle kingdom contained itself and thought it is between heaven and earth. And they were very different. And we had a notion of ourselves. It's the only civilization which said the whole world is one family. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Why is that? The whole world is one family. And Hinduism is a religion which allows you to have any stream of thought. In the Charvaka tradition, you can be an atheist. You're still a Hindu. Because at that point of time, there were no other religions. And Hinduism, as a religion, is a quest for every human being to understand the reason for their existence. It's a quest, it's a journey of knowledge throughout your life. There is no dogma. There is no force. There is no compulsion. It's pure free thought. Every idea gets challenged. Because we as a civilization believe in the power of ideas. It's the human being and the idea in the human mind that can change the context. Because for all of us, there's only one reality in life. Mortality. The day you're born, you know there's an end date. You don't know when. And in the Mahabharata, you see it happening. The Pandavas agonize, fight, get their kingdom back. At the end, the 5 Pandavas walk together. In the last journey in the Himalayas, and each one falls one by one to meet the purpose. And then the end comes for Yudhishthira. And in the end, they see what they have done. They understand the meaning of life. So life is a journey, and we understood that. And we explained. And the journey has to be experienced. So we never went on conquering all others. Yes, we had fights within India. We had empires. There's a lust for power. Every human being is an animal who wants power over everybody. The male wants to dominate the female, even though with the vice chancellor, I don't know who can ever dominate her. She's the personification of Durga. We all worship Durga. Kali Ma, in the very manifestations. And I say it as an admirer, because I am the product of my mother's work. And you understand the love of a mother and a woman. And I got a very strong wife who doesn't listen to me. So So it's important to understand the purpose. I'm saying all this to explain to you why the work that is being done by Sudhanshu and team is very important. So we created the narrative for the world, the purpose for the world. Buddhism rose up here in rebellion to Hinduism and conquered the entire world. And when Shankara came to revive Hinduism, what happened? It's not a battle with swords. It's a clash of ideas. He had a debate with Mantala Mishra, right? And defeated him in ideas. And when his wife said she wants to debate with him, he debated with her, except when she asked a particular question, he took a break and came back and defeated. And when she followed him, and you know how Shringeri came about, you know the story. But it's the power of idea, the power of human thought that dominated, and that's how the revival of Hinduism also came. And we were people who believed life is a search for truth. Is there an eternal truth? Yes, there's an eternal truth, that there's a purpose in our life. But what is the eternal truth we have to discover for ourselves? And the discovery is an individualistic journey for every human being. It's not somebody who writes a book and say, follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't follow, I'm going to kill you. You got to do this, you got to do that. Nothing like that. Nobody cares. We argue with our God. We fight with our God. We debate with our God. We leave our gods behind. And we do what we want. We don't go to hell for that. You don't go to heaven because you worship somebody. You go to heaven, possibly this heaven, I don't know who has gone there and come back. We got to ask all these faiths, who has gone to heaven and seen them and come back, what is that? Nobody knows. They want to send others to hell or heaven, not themselves. So that we don't know whether there's a hell or a heaven, but you say, you will always pay for your papa and punya. You got to do punya. What is punya? Punya is doing good to the world, which every young kid here wants to do. In London, they want to jump up and down and march on the street, do good for the world. That is good for the world, marching on the street. Every young person here, we want to do good for the world. Right? We want to spend others' money to do good for the world. We are all socialists and communists when we are young. So, that purpose, so we understood this context of life, and life was not a quest for power. Life was not a quest for conquest. Living was not for conquest. And our rishis taught us, take from nature what you want for a survival, but not for your greed. Because we are part of nature, and we worship nature. We believe every creature has a right to exist. Every creature on this planet has a right to exist along with us. Yes, we have to survive, we have to eat. There will be some kind of violence. But everybody has the right to worship Mother Nature. And then we are told, we are idolaters, you don't know the true God, all that kind of rubbish. Because we believe we are on this planet together with everybody else, and we have a particular time, and the time has got to be used by us to understand the purpose for which we are, so that we have the right balance in our living. And like the Americans say, possibly, the quest of life is to find happiness. And what is happiness? For us, happiness was not making more money. Money is important. Was not being arrogant and powerful. Right? And it was self-seeking. And once you contain it within the self and not power with others, you can live well. And that's how the concept of dharma came. Protection of dharma, because dharma protects you. She'll tell you in Sanskrit. You protect dharma, dharma protects you, because if everybody has to live together, there has to be rules which you all obey, which you put together, and we work, and that is true democracy. Democracy came because the concept of dharma, where the king had to be the follower of dharma. Just the other day I had an argument with our Swamiji in the Partagali Mutt. I told him, when Rama, Bhagwan Shri Ram, we call him Rama, did injustice to Sita and asked her to go because somebody passed comments about her, was he being fair? Was he agonized after that? He said no. He said Rama understood as the king, his first duty is to the praja. Everything else is secondary. His duty to the praja overrides everything else. That is dharma. He has to live and uphold dharma. Did he do injustice to Sita? He said, did he feel upset about it and agonize? He said, no. I was shocked. He said, no. I said, why? It's his wife. He went to fight the Rakshasa for her, to get her back. He said, look, when there's dharma, you have to uphold dharma, and that's the end of your life, dharma, upholding dharma. All that is important. So, we were not part of the Abrahamic school, the desert cults, whose purpose was domination, power, go forth and multiply. We have made everything for you. Nature is for you to use, enjoy, destroy, do what you want. Because that's the purpose. Conquest and pray to the true God, whoever that God is. Because nobody has really seen God anywhere, even though they have delusions and illusions of God. Right? They all have delusions. So go, and then this is the book, this is the God, this is the last date. If you don't do this, you go to heaven. It's like asking, I just tweeted to the Holy Father, because he was talking about peace. I said, Holy Father, will I go to heaven? I'm not baptized. I want an answer. What will he tell me? Then how can he love humanity if he believes I will not go to heaven because I don't follow what he believes in? That's exactly what happened in JNU. The leftists capture them, and so my way or the highway. We are the two liberals because liberalism is what we define and what we want. You don't follow that and you're out, and we'll push you out and all that nonsense, right? And the vice chancellor came and broke it up. She did the Tandava dance, the Durga dance, the Kali dance, right? And they're all out. Now, the Abrahamic school, the Western school, is based on domination, is based on control, is based on extraction, self-aggrandizement. And that culture we don't understand because we are not built like that. We are not built like that. Am I right, madam? We are not built like that. We are built very differently. We are non-violent, ahimsa, by nature. When Gandhiji gave the call for freedom, the poorest of the poor marched on the streets. And he told them, when somebody hits you on the head with a lathi, don't raise your hand. Nowhere in human history have people march on the street, the poorest of the poor, and when hit on the head, they didn't raise their hand to defend themselves, they fell down. That is moral courage. And the moral courage is there with the poorest of the poor who are to empower each other to fight for every meal. For the rich, moral courage can be a chimera, because they can say, yeah, I got everything. But for the poorest of the poor, and these poor the poor were so generous, when he gave the call to help the freedom movement, Pardhanashin women came out. People with 2 rotis gave away 1 roti. Women gave all the jewelry, everything else for the freedom movement. They had nothing. They gave what they want. And they fought for freedom. They gave us the freedom. It's not Nehru. It is these ordinary people who gave their lives, who fought, the mothers. And that is the civilization we are. So we don't understand this Abrahamic school. We teach to dominate. We try to dominate. We came into this country, created colonies, extracted. But look at what they did. They knew the true power was domination of the mind and the intellect. They came to the country, destroyed the education system. And Dharampal says that every village had a school. Everybody went to school. There was no caste. The so-called caste and all that, everybody went to school. The largest number of people were the people who are now classified very differently. Knowledge was there everywhere. And this is a country where, when the Rajguru came to the kingdom, the king came outside, welcomed him, washed his feet, put him on a seat next to him at a higher pedestal. And the Rajguru knew his duty was the preservation of Dharma, was the creation of knowledge, propagation of knowledge. And the king knew that he has to bow down to the Rajguru. Because in our society, knowledge is the highest pedestal. It's the scholar who pays the highest pedestal. It is not the Balwan. It's not the man with the sword, the scholar. In Bangalore, we follow the Jawar. Bangalore has 56, 60 billionaires. Many of them walk in the streets in the chappals and shorts. They're all young middle class people, of course. We don't have a business class. No, RK? RK also wants to be a billionaire. It's getting there. But we respect them. And whom do we respect in Bangalore? The scholar, the artist, the philosopher, the scientist. Not the man with the money. Money is important. Money is very important. Don't live in poverty like Gandhi. Gandhi lived in poverty because we fed him and took care of him, but don't believe in that, all right? Now, why is all that important? Because Between the Abrahamic West and the East, there's a clash of ideas. The clash of ideas is a quest for power, physical power, weapons of war, weapons of mass destruction which never existed in many countries, and capture of global institutions to rule the world, to be the dominant power. The British did that with excellence, came to India, conquered India, set up universities, destroyed our education system, gave us English, which are going to give it back, and they're paying for it because all the great unwashed masses of the colonies are going back to conquer Great Britain. They already have their mayor there, they've got other people there in London, and it's happening in a big way. Karma comes back. So, they came and they conquered, and they rewrote our history, placing them as the benevolent people who liberated us from the sins of the past and gave us hope, gave us education, gave us the future, gave us civilization. Can you believe it? There are people in Delhi who say the British gave us civilization. The whites gave us civilization. It's absurd. And many Indians fall into the trap. Haudu, avare namge civilization kotru. That's the power of the narrative. And the narrative after the war, Second World War, was captured by America, who created the narrative of American exceptionalism. American exceptionalism said America, the greatest country in the world, the land of the free, the land of the unwashed masses. They can live the American dream and become rich, conquer the world. Very true. So many people came there with nothing, not the old feudal classes. They came there, impoverished, and they grew, and they could realize the dream is a great country, the great narrative, and they created a theory of American exceptionalism and used the soft power of Hollywood and others, promoting America as the greatest nation ever, which caused somebody, Fukuyama, to write The End of History and the Ascent of Man, right? He said liberalism has won when the Soviet Union came down. This is narrative, and we all believe it, because they have the power of narrative. And they create a narrative. And then our narrative is India is a poor country of unwashed, dirty masses who shall die in the 60s and 70s. They should say there's no hope for India. India will die because they're breeding too much. Let them die. Like Winston Churchill said, they're a dirty race. Let them die and cause the Bengal famine. That's the racist attitude that they had. And we have many of the racist supporters who try to be apologists for all that kind of violence that is there. So that's the narrative. So power is narrative. Control is narrative. And then, narrative goes into indexes. Narratives become points of indexes. They create indexes, all kind of indexes, based on them. I heard a CNN, a semi-Indian lady, come on TV and say, oh, Delhi, I went to Delhi, I was grown up. It's the rape capital of the world. Rape capital of the world? There are more rapes of million women in New York than anywhere in the world. In America, because we are 140 crore people, they don't look at per million, they look at total crimes. So we'll be the biggest in the world. Of course we'll be the biggest. We're the biggest country. We're 17% of humanity. This planet belongs to us. They're 5% of humanity. Per capita, they got more crime. They never look at per capita, never look at data. And the great unwashed masses sitting in Delhi here, in JNU and others, they believe it. And they go and abuse us and say, oh, you are a dirty people, we are a dirty people, you are failed, you are this, that, all kind of stuff. It's the power of narrative and the power of index. And then came a gentleman with Sudhanshu understand, George Soros, who decided for himself he's going to build what is called the open society. And when George grew up, his history, which he tries to whitewash, says, I think he was a Nazi collaborator, am I right? Nazi collaborator who supported the Nazis against the Jewish people and identified them to be sent for the Holocaust. And he now has an apology to say, oh, I was young and I was forced, blah, 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 and all that nice stuff. He's a billionaire many times over. Now he's using his money to create the open society. And he's the one who funds all these indexes that have come up in the last 10, 15 years. Professor, you didn't know about this, right? You are a very innocent man who lives in a beautiful campus somewhere in Bombay, in his, sheltered, immersed in his own work without looking at all this and believing everybody, right? And what you read. Don't believe all that. He funds everything. VDEM is funded by him. Journalists Without Borders funded by him. All the Freedom Index, all the indexes are funded by him. Is a common therapy, and many of the NGO heads in Delhi are funded by him. I had a classmate called Salil Shetty. He's the vice president. He came. I remember an interview on CNN when that this thing is there, the COVID thing was there, COVID was there. Then a lady asked him, what do you think the virus? He said, we got a bigger virus in India, Hinduism. He meant that. These are all the people who have sold their souls for a few dollars. They sell their souls for a few dollars to turn against people. And they march on the street. When the Delhi riots happened, it was Harsh Mandar who went on the street and tried to pacify people who are killers. People are violent. He pacified them and tried to create an alibi. They create alibi. They become apologists. And all of us poor, innocent citizens who think everybody is a good person in this world, everything that comes in newspaper is kosher, believe them, right? Believe them because we are trusting people. We are trusting people. And now the concerted action to create all these indices. And the indices to promote their ideology, to promote their point of view, because this is a quest for power, domination, power and domination, extraction of resources. That is the West, that is the Abrahamic schools, both of them. They don't want others to come because only they go to heaven. Which of the two go to heaven, they still haven't figured out, right? The rest of us won't. And if they all say there is a God and we're all God's children, God also made us, right? God also made us. And if we don't believe in the Abrahamic religion, God only told us not to do it. Because everything we do is God's. Like we say, everything is Krishna, Papa, Punya, everything is Krishna's. Right? So how can there be a God who discriminates between people whom He has created? And says some should go to hell because they don't believe me. How can we not believe God who has made us if there's a God? Now, these indices are there. So, what is the remedy? The remedy is very simple in my mind. One, we must pick up the top 10 indices in the world, which most of it get publicity, identify that, look at the methodology and expose them. Because you have the ability to expose them. They use fake data. You just now said 1,600 people this query, and you must find out, ask them, who are these 1,600 people? And of course the Vice Chancellor gave the answer, they're all from JNU, mostly from JNU. It's a self-contained crowd. When the people speak about India for opinion, it's not India, you and I, we don't matter. The self-contained people who belong to a clique, mostly part of the Soros gang, because Soros funds all of them for scholarship, they fund the children, they fund them to get jobs outside, they fund them to travel, go for conferences and do all this things, and his money, he's promised to spend $500 billion a year, $500 million a year. $500 million a year, that's money power. And all of the newspapers, everybody write that kind of rubbish every day and write to us. All kind of rubbish, because we are not able to counter. So we have to do these indices, we have to point out, and we have no credibility in the world. Because we are a poor country, $3,000. But we are 17% of humanity. And here's what I will tell all of you. Look at the future. The biggest challenge, Madam Vice Chancellor, for the next 50 years is not climate change, which is again manipulated. It is the aging of society and decline of population. 30% of humanity is shrinking. China lost 3 million people every year for the last 2 years. Japan is declined by 1 million people. Korean population is coming down. The Russia's population is coming down. Italy, the land of the Holy Pope, its population is coming down because they're not producing enough children. I mean, feminism has got a problem too. I don't want to talk about it. It'll be controversial. Because if you don't have enough children, you're going to disappear. China's population of 1.4 billion is expected to become 575 million by 2100. Can you believe it? 1.4, 575. Japan of 122 is going to be 96 by 2050 and 66 or 67 by 2100. Russia's population is shrinking. The men are drinking too much vodka, I guess. And you're in America, the population, if you don't take the illegal immigrants and others, is actually shrinking. And in Japan, in the whole of Europe, 450 million, I think 4.5 million migrants came in, 2.5 million people died. And that means if the migrants illegal and all cannot come in, they'll be shrinking. The average median age in Europe is 47 years, Japan 45 years, India is 29 years, China 37, US is 37. So that's the biggest challenge, the aging of society and the decline of society, and the population 8.2 billion could be not 11 billion like the UN said, but 9.6, it could come down. And even in India, Tamil Nadu is shrinking. Madam, if you look at population in the 18 to 23 group for the last 10 years, Jawar, you'll continue to do well for different reasons. The population 18 to 23 over the last 10-year period grew by 0.2%. And in Tamil Nadu is shrunk. Kerala is shrunk. Karnataka is shrunk. In 21-22, we produced 12 lakh babies. Now it's only 10 lakhs. And we lose 5 lakh people when that matches. The UP is also coming down, but overall India we are only growing at 0.8%, and fertility has come to in 24 2, maybe 1.9. In the whole of the south is 1.6, 1.7, and for the poor Jains is 1.2. Because when you become rich, you don't want children. You don't have children, what is going to be the future? And all the rich people say, we don't want children, who is going to inherit your money? Give it away in your lifetime. So, these kind of indices are important. We have to do it. We are $4 trillion, will grow to 10 trillion by 2035. There are only 2 countries which can grow the economy with certainty, 3 countries in the next 10 years. The United States, China, and India. All of the economies could shrink or flatten out. And we will do because of innovation, because of our young people, because of the momentum that we have. And when we grow up, we have to have the narrative power of the world. Because we as Indians have been victims of all this narrative. We accepted it. Yen madadu nodana nale ashte. Yen madadu paapala yena madli bidi. You know what it means, no? What do you do? But Sudhanshu and the team in Delhi said, we will fight back. We will create indices. Purva Paksha, right? That's the word Rajiv Malhotra uses. Throw the gaze back. And every civilization has thrown the gaze back to the conqueror to show him. And I think that's what we got to do. And that indices is important. So I would say to all of you, the work being done by this foundation is extremely important. All of us must support it. It's based on secondary data, so nobody can point a finger. Because whatever we do, we should first think, how will the world see it? Because we got this crazy set of people who are illiberals, fascists, totalitarians, who want to create a negative narrative of India, who are always there to pick perverted minds, always there to pick holes in whatever anybody does good work. Like Sudhanshu said, the first thing we did when we create this, how will it be received? How will it be criticized? Can they find holes? That is fantastic, Sudhanshu. Now you're really becoming a person who can really work to dominate everybody else, because that is what you must think. Because this is not innocently creating new knowledge like all of us believe in. This is about countering fake narrative, create an alternate fake narrative, showing them up. So Sudhanshu, one of the things is pick up 10 of the top 10 narratives of what people do it and expose the methodology, write about it, talk about it. I'm sure the Vice Chancellor will write about it and create papers and push it out as point papers. And you got Anand Ranganathan, feel that guy, and he's a great debater, he'll talk about it, right? And we must have more speakers coming out and talking, and I think it's very important to do that, and I would commend all of you and say to all of you young people, the future belongs to you. You got to be active. You got to look at all this. Spend 10-20% time for the community. Not jump up and down in the street with a protest to say we're going to change the world. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's got hard work, blood, sweat and toils. Like Jawahar said, what his father dreamt 40 years ago, he's seeing results now. It takes time, Jawahar, and very hard work, perseverance. Am I right? You must have spent many nights not sleeping, worrying about the future, right? Yes, it happens to everybody. The minister is here, what he did, everybody. So you, the people here, the young people here, have to take an interest. You got to have podcasts, you got to have debates, you got to create a positive environment, because the future belongs to you. You need good jobs. You need good economic conditions. You need a country which is growing, which will give you a great future. You need to be mobile. It's not going to come to you free of cost. Where somebody is going to give, nobody gives you anything. You got to earn it. You got to earn respect. And that's why this kind of narratives, because if the narrative becomes negative about India, when you go outside, they treat you very shabbily. I used to go abroad 30 years ago, look at my passport, oh, Indian, yeah, woo, and all that. 10 years later, after the first decade, Indian. Where are you from? Bangalore. Where? What do you do? Infosys. Infosys. Oh, good, good, welcome. Look at the power of the narrative. Then the world expands. And I would urge all of you, Jawahar, send them out to do their masters, PhDs in Europe and other countries, because Europe you don't pay fees. America is too expensive. Send them out, let them do their masters, and because they're less young people, they're great job prospects. We must become a diaspora. We are a diaspora of 50 million people. Right, Sudhanshuji? We must become a diaspora of 100 million people in the next 10 years. And 100 million people will be the richest community in every country in the world. We already are in many countries. We are the most intellectual, more accomplished. We are more founders of Indian origin among all the unicorns in India. This country has, last the Stanford study, 90 founders of Indian origin among the 1,300 unicorn those days. So we'll have it. And this is a place of innovation. I saw your innovation hubs here. This is a place where change happens. And you are the heart of innovation. And at the end of it, you're all Bangaloreans. Very special. Very special. These poor Delhiites will come here. Sudhanshu is a nice guy. We have to talk to them nicely.
We chose Bangalore to launch the index, not Delhi.
Yeah, exactly. Because he knows where will have the biggest impact. He knows where things will work. He's doing it in what is called enlightened self-interest. Right, RK? He's not doing patronage for us. He's not coming here to do good to us. He's saying, I come to Bangalore, I get the image, I get the minds, I get the intellectual quality, and it'll go around globally. Well, I congratulate you on that. But I want to congratulate Sudhanshu and end this by saying, you're all in Bangalore, you must do that. You must challenge fake narratives about India anywhere in the world. Don't stand up to tyranny. Stand up to fake narratives. Expose all of them. Go to social media everywhere, expose them. Have podcasts. Fight the battle in social media, because social media has leveled the field. It doesn't cost you anything. Fight the battle. Stand up for your country. This is the only country you have. If anybody comes and makes fake narratives, challenge them, push them back. This is your country, and you are going to inherit the earth. You are going to have a good 50, 60 years of life ahead of you. All of us have spent a lot of time building this country, and we have suffered a lot because of the bad policies of Nehru, against whom this university was named, and unfortunately it turned out to be a bad university. Only Jawahar, not Nehru. He missed the last name. But please, don't pass the buck. So you have to fight, you have to get a narrative, you have to participate, take this, tweet, and go around, because today you've got social media. The world is level. And you've got AI. You guys know AI. You can do everything in AI. The older generation doesn't know AI. All the journalists don't know AI. The older, the mind doesn't work. So, do that, and I want to wish you all well. Only thing, publicize it. Get a team of social media people to tweet. Write to, give a copy to all our global missions. Ask Jai Shankar to sponsor that, and then send it all across. Use it in all communique. Use it in the UN and all. Give them the friends. You got to buy them over. We need a special fund to buy over all the UN rapporteurs and all this kind of people. And this is the battle we got to win. And we are now thrown the first stone. And we will win. And you are going to fight to win for India and make India Rama Rajya. Thank you very much.